All right. Good evening, everyone. It is Monday, February 27th. It is 7:02 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. All town council members are present. The following are present in chambers: Jason Maurer, D.D. Martin, John Formkella, Sean O'Rourke, Terry Rooney, remote, Donald Wales, Jessica Tuska, Enid LaFell, and Kevin Reed. All right, if there's no objection, I'm going to pass the consent calendar as presented. There is no objection, I'm passing the consent calendar as presented. I ask that communication items A through J be incorporated into the minutes of the meeting. Item 5, public participation. Is there any member of the public in chambers that would like to participate? Name and address, sir.
Jason Zuzak, 231 Route 8, Searsburg, Vermont. About the Spring Hill Road closure. Usually I come in here with actual facts and try to ask the town for fairness. But how many times have I been here now? 4 for town council, 3 for planning and zoning, and there is no fairness. You guys all made an improper decision that affects my life. And has anybody taken 2 minutes to look up anything that I said? Because it was actual facts. It wasn't my opinion, but it was actual facts. The Planning and Zoning Board was misinformed by the economic director. I mean, how could you honestly look at me in the face and stand by your decision? The whole thing was built on somebody misspeaking that should know what they're doing, and you guys should know what you're voting on. That's sad. I told you I'll be here for every one of these. This is pathetic. And has anybody taken 2 minutes to look up anything that I said? So I get the 180 seconds, and then you flatter me, and then I'll drive back. But I'll be here every time. Every time. I've never sued anybody in my life. So in order for me to challenge this in court, I actually have to file a suit against you. So I physically have to sue somebody for the first time. But maybe that's what it is. That's like the pressure of the town of Monroe, and you're gonna squeeze the little guy because your lawyers are getting paid either way. But I'll pay my lawyer. I want him to file already, but he's building his case, and he will. And I can't wait until he does, because this will end up going in front of 3 judges who will be fair and impartial. I'd be embarrassed if I was you guys. I really would. I tried to get an appraisal on the house 2 Thursdays ago, and I can't get an appraisal. There's no site plan. There's no engineering on closing the road or building this restaurant for this private developer. You guys don't do anything without a site plan. But this is dirty. And I'm telling you all, this is dirty, right to your face. I usually sit here and I look at my notes and I go over the YouTube meetings and I find exactly what's fairly wrong. But you won't even take 2 minutes to look at it. You ought to be embarrassed of yourselves. I'll see you at the next meeting. Good to see you.
Thank you. Is there any other member of the public that would like to participate that's in town council chambers at this time? Hearing none, is there anyone online that would like to use public participation? Please remember to unmute yourself. Hearing none, I'm going to close public participation. We have no appointments tonight. Action items. Item A, Town Council Committee on Finance, Education, Health, and Public Safety Matters. Madam Vice Chair, please remember to unmute yourself. Enid? Hear me.
You need to try pressing star and 6 on your phone. We got you now.
No, oh, thank you very much. Okay, so I'm listening. I heard the beginning. I heard Jason Duback, so I'm up to date. And we have not had a finance education meeting since the last one.
Thank you, Vice Chair LaPellis. All right, Town Council, Command, Planning, Zoning, Public Works, and Park and Recreation Matters. Councilmember Rooney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No, we have not met this time. Nothing pertaining to council was brought to my attention either.
All right. Ms. Martin, do you have any report?
I do, just a few interesting things from Park and Rec. The Monroe Lacrosse Association had approached the Park and Rec Commission to build a shed to store their equipment up on Great Hollow, and had submitted plans and stuff, so they'll be looking at that. For many of us that use the park, the stainless steel water fountains are going to be added, one up at the lake and one at on the pool side, so that people can fill up water bottles and stuff. And the zip line is going to be installed, hopefully weather permitting, the end of April at the Monroe Playground. And as of February 15th, they'll be taking camping and field and picnic requirements. That's it.
Okay. Thank you. Town Council Committee on Legislative and Administrative Matters. Councilmember Reed.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. We did meet on five items tonight. One of them is the resolution regarding performing artist engagement agreements. There'll be 2 of those before you. We have a continuance of one from last time, which is the epidemiology and laboratory capacity, ELC enhancing detection through coronavirus response and relief. That's a supplemental funds for local health department district. That's a program agreement. We have number 28, which is regarding the wiffle ball domain license agreement. We've seen that stuff before. Should be a pretty easy explanation. Number 29 is third amendment to the memorandum of understanding, the MOU, for the volunteer medical advisor. And we have the final, which is number 30, in 2 parts, job descriptions on donor relations and communications for WMNR and reference librarian EWML. And all of those will be before you tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Item D, Strategic Planning Committee. We have not had a meeting since our last meeting. That meeting involved capital projects, which were presented in the first selectmen's budget. Item E, EMS Building Committee. Councilmember Rooney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, we did meet finally last Thursday with some scheduling snafus. Valentine's Day was our regular scheduled meeting, and I couldn't get a quorum. So we did convene last Thursday. Some good news has happened since last council. We did get a certificate of occupancy from the building department. So that's actually a big hurdle in completion of this building. Fences now, as far as work on the site, the fences have been completed. The garage doors have since been completed. And we're on, once again, still on some punch list stuff, some dry erase boards and things of that nature. And then again, I say it every meeting, but it's the epoxy floor. We're just waiting for a nice stretch of weather to get that done. And then we'll be looking at an opening. Also, we'll be working on reconciling this project as far as financially and finding out where there are some pockets of money left over and different things so we can get that buttoned up. But that's going to be a little bit down the road before we get those final numbers because, as you know, there are still some things remaining to be done. But all is good. Everything's good. And they're operating there very well. I did last week spend a little time there just walking around and asking them if everything's working right. They had a little problem with the dishwasher that I think has since been reconciled. But as you know, when you build a new building, there's little things that kind of need to be tweaked and, so They're settling in well there and letting me know if anything goes wrong, and we're getting right on it. But nothing at this point has been significant. It's all been, just little operating every day, weeks and stuff. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item F, Open Space Preservation Acquisition Committee, Councilmember O'Rourke.
Mr. Chairman, we have not met since our last meeting.
Thank you. And Mr. First Selectman, your update.
Thank you. Passing down some hard copies. So just a few updates this evening. First, I wanted to follow up from the questions that came from council at the last meeting in regards to Stanley Road and in the area of Hattertown. Public Works Director Nowacki and I discussed this. He advised us that they are well aware of the pavement conditions in that area. It has been targeted for further evaluation come spring, really just to decide which type of course of action they want to take for a more permanent solution. Until that time, they continue to monitor it and patch as best as they can, given we are in winter and plants are closed and et cetera. Regarding the drainage issue that was brought up there, I was informed that when that road was last reconstructed, it was there is no drainage connection to Route 59. The state Route 59 does not have drainage in that area. So the road, when it was last paved, was pitched specifically so that it would drain either to 59 or to Hattertown in a natural drainage capacity. So that's the answer there. In regards to the width of the roadway, the road inspector went out and took several measurements. I was told that the range was 20 to 22 feet at all the locations they measured, which meets the local road standards per the state DOT. Any further widening would certainly require surveying, possibly taking of private land, and there would be significant cost in such a project that would have to obviously be undertaken. The section of Stanley Road that's in question, the question came about the no through trucks designation. Chief White did clarify that while the local traffic authority can make a recommendation in regards to that designation, it is the state DOT that does have the authority to make that designation, and currently there is no such designation on file. He did also confirm the challenges in enforcing any such restrictions. And in regards to the senior and the senior tax relief programs, Kim Cassia did report that was actually mentioned in the January newsletter for the senior center. Assessor Feldman had prepared a one-page kind of flyer, if you will. It's attached in my update here to send out, and that's going to be sent out again to the senior center, through the senior center, I should say, as well as given to the Commission on Aging. Again, you have a copy there for your reference. Some good news, as speaking of the senior center, I received word that we will be receiving a little over $43,000 grant for the senior center. This is coming to the State Department of Aging and Disability Services, and that is through the American Rescue Plan Act. And while we know that funding can be utilized in some broad categories of facility improvements and programming, we don't have really specific details beyond that or how the program will work and how that, how we will receive that funding and apply for it, et cetera. But good news that that funding is on the way. And I know we have lots of, we have projects and ideas there that I'm sure we can put that money to good use. And last but not least, I did attach an updated tentative budget schedule. Obviously, we are here this evening in a regular meeting. There is a special meeting scheduled for tomorrow night at 6:30, which will start with the Board of Finance. And within that meeting, there's a public hearing notice to start at 7 p.m. for your public hearing on the budget. The budget workshops, the departments that I received requests for are Parks and Rec, Public Works, Planning and Zoning, Economic Development, Health, and Human Resources. I just want to confirm that I have everything correct. Given those, the limited departments, Mr. Formikel has asked that I schedule those all for March 7th at 6 o'clock. I did make mention to a couple of council members earlier. I'll just say for the record that our HR director is not available that evening due to previously scheduled commitments. So if there are any specific questions for HR, I'd like to try and get those in advance so that we can at least try to get them answered well ahead of either, ahead of that meeting so I can report back to you, or certainly get it to you get back to you in time before your final vote, which, as you know, has to be done by March 15th. So if there's no other questions or comments, I would like to get confirmation on this with the chair's direction. That March 7th meeting does need to be formally noticed. I want to do that this week if we're final with that.
Any other departments? None? Scheduled meeting.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Selectman, just a quick question. Could you send us the electronic version of the senior and homeowners tax relief program?
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
I just have a quick question. Mr. Selectman, is the police commission, is that the traffic authority?
Yes, our local traffic authority is the police commission. Yes, you're correct.
Thank you.
Anything else? Hearing none. We're done with that. We have no other action items. I'm moving unfinished business after we complete new business this evening. New business, item A, resolution 23-029. I make a motion to adopt resolution 23-029. Resolve that Kenneth M. Kellogg, first selectman of the town of Monroe, is authorized to execute and deliver on behalf of the town of Monroe the third amendment to memorandum of understanding dated June 11, 2018, and any associated documents by and between Michael O'Reilly, MD, for the purpose of providing his services as volunteer medical advisor to Monroe Health Department. Is there a second?
Second.
I'll second it. I seconded it.
Thank by Mr. Mauer. Mr. Kellogg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you're, I believe, all well aware, Dr. O'Reilly, who had previously been on our Board of Health, has for several years been our volunteer medical advisor for the Monroe Health Department. That is done through an MOU that we've had in place for him during that time. Dr. O'Reilly has recently retired from his practice of direct patient care. However, he is maintaining his physician license, and he's willing to provide the services to the town of Monroe under that MOU on a pro bono basis. As he is retiring from direct patient care, he's no longer maintaining his private malpractice insurance. Our HR director, Mr. Hirsch, consulted with our liability insurance provider, Kerma, and they reviewed the scope of services that is within that MOU, which obviously is limited, does not include direct patient care, and they have agreed to add coverage, the coverage that's within that MOU for those services in that MOU, add coverage to the town for the medical advisor services at no additional cost to the town. So working with the town attorney, this third amendment is before you, and what the third amendment does is it strikes a paragraph out of the original agreement, which requires Dr. O'Reilly to maintain his own private malpractice insurance. All the terms are unchanged. I have the town attorney's memo on this matter, and I'd ask that we move this forward so we continue to avail ourselves of the services of Dr. O'Reilly, which he's been very gracious to provide us at no cost.
Thank you, Mr. Kellogg. Any other discussion on the adoption of resolution 23-029? Hearing none, I'm going to call for a vote. All those in favor of adopting resolution 23-029, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All those against, please say nay. Hearing no nays, this passes 9-0. Item B, resolution 23-030. I move the town council adopt resolution number 23-030. Resolved that the town council hereby approves The following to be effective immediately. New job description for donor relations and communications at WMNR. And 2, revised job description for reference librarian in the Edith Wheeler Memorial Library. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Mauer.
Second.
Mr. Kellogg.
Thank you. So again, Mr. Hirsch, HR Director, has been working with the appropriate department heads to update and revise job descriptions where necessary and appropriate. A couple of timely ones before you. One is WMNR General Manager Kurt Anderson wants to move forward with a donor relations communications position as a full-time position at WMNR. It is currently vacant, was a part-time position, and this is you only have a clean version because we determined that a prior version of this job description does not appear to exist. So this is a new one for that position. And then in the Edith Wheeler Memorial Library, the reference librarian has been cleaned up and updated as well. You have both the red line changes and the clean copy there. Fairly straightforward, and ask that we move these along.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'm going to call for a vote. All those in favor of adopting resolution 23-030, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All those against, please say nay. Hearing no nays, this passes 9-0. That's it for new business. We'll go back to unfinished business. Item A, St. Jude School Property and Community Center Project update. Can I have a motion to invite the first selectman and the town attorney to discuss contract negotiations with St. Jude regarding St. Jude Property and Community Center? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Mauer. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Terry Brony. All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'm going to call for vote. All those in favor of it entering executive session, please say aye.
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 All those against, please say nay. Hearing no nays, this passes 9-0. We are entering executive session at 7:24 p.m. All right, good evening, everyone. We are back. It is 7:55 p.m. No votes were taken during our executive session. All right, we have one more item on our agenda. That's public participation. Is there any member of the public that would like to participate on any unfinished matter of unfinished business or unfinished matter of new business? Hearing none, I am closing second public participation, and I am adjourning this meeting at 7:55 p.m. See you all tomorrow. Thank you.